welcome back to my channel, Jamie Fran Colors. Today we're going to be talking about the color wheel. How long has it been around? It has been around since Isaac Newton, who died in 1726, 1727, and so it's been around for a long time. It has morphed and changed, and we use it to refer to how colors are related to each other. And if we know how colors are related to each other, we may have an easier time picking our color schemes for our coloring books. So we're going to talk about some of those color schemes and how color relates to each other. So I've made this color wheel for you out of paint chips that I got at my local Lowe's. And we're going to talk about how these colors are related to each other. What are the parts of the color wheel that we need to know? We're not going to get too complicated today. We may add on to it in later videos. But today we're just going to talk about how colors are related to each other and some harmonious color schemes, ways we can look at the color wheel to come up with some harmonious color schemes for our coloring pictures. Okay, so let's talk. The first part of the color wheel are what's called primary colors. Primary colors are 1, 2, 3, red, yellow, and blue. So we have red is a primary color, and then blue and yellow. Red, yellow, and blue. So those are our primary colors. And with these three colors, we can mix and get all of the other colors. So if we mix these together, we get our other colors. We're going to keep it simple today, so don't get too complicated on me, okay? This is the simple. All right, so if we mix red and yellow together, we get orange. And that is a secondary color. Okay, we have two other secondary colors. If we mix blue and yellow, we get green. That's another secondary color. And then if we mix blue and red, we get purple, which is our third secondary color. All right. Now, we have what's called, I always say this wrong, I want to make sure I say it right, tertiary colors. Okay, so next we have our tertiary colors. So we have our primary colors, our secondary colors, and now we have our tertiary colors. Now our tertiary colors are made by mixing a primary color with a secondary color. All right, so if we mix our primary color red with our secondary color purple, we get our tertiary color of a violet purple, a purple red, a red purple, okay? A red violet. Now if we mix our primary color of blue with our secondary color of purple, we get our blue violet, okay? Which is our tertiary color. Now if we take our primary color blue and mix it with our secondary green, we will get our teals, our blue greens, our green blues. It's our tertiary color there. Okay, now if we take our primary color yellow and mix it with our tertiary color green, we get our yellow greens, our chartreuses, those colors, okay? Now if we mix our primary color yellow with our secondary color orange, we get our yellow orange. And last but not least, we have our primary color red, mix it with our secondary color yellow orange, and we get our orange. Okay, mix our primary color red with our secondary color orange, and we'll get a red orange. Okay. So that is what our color wheel is made up of and how we get the colors that we do on the wheel and where they go. All right, now to use this so that we have some harmonious color schemes, we're going to look at this, okay? So first and foremost, harmonious color schemes. So we have monochromatic, analogous, complementary, split complementary, triad, and tetrad. And then, yeah. So those are the ones we're going to be looking at. Monochromatic, analogous, complementary, split complementary, triad, and tetrad. Okay, and I'll put that on the screen. I'll also have it all in the description box down below. All right, so monochromatic is when we take one color and we use all the values of that color, or we kind of keep it all in that color family. So of course, if we add white to blue, we get lots of different values of blue, and we can use that to color an entire picture. And we do challenges with that. Sometimes, you know, I do it sometimes just because I want to, you know, not just because it's a challenge. I have a example here of when I have done this. This would be a monochromatic picture. It's all shades of blue. Blues of darker and lighter value. Okay, so that would be monochromatic color scheme. Okay. Next we have analogous. I hope I'm saying that right. This is using colors that are adjacent to each other on the color wheel. Use at least 2 but no more than 5 consecutive colors on the wheel. Example would be like yellow-green, going to green, blue-green, blue, and blue-violet. And that's your color scheme. So you're staying right there. They're all next to each other. They're in a nice little row. They look good to each other. That's called an analogous color scheme. And I've done this several times as well. I have an example here of one. Keep it on my wall. Okay. So this would be an analogous color scheme. Now I've started with yellow, and I have yellow in here. I have like chartreuse or yellow-green, green, teals, and blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an analogous color scheme. And you can do that anywhere on the color wheel. You could start with red and do red, red-orange, orange, yellow-orange, and yellow, and you'd have a color scheme of 5 there. Okay. All right, so that's an analogous color scheme. All right, another thing that is to know and to make a color scheme as well is complementary colors. Now, complementary color is the color that is directly across the color wheel from that color. So red and green are complementary colors to each other. We think of it, we see a lot at Christmas time. Red and green, they're put next to each other a lot. They are complementary colors. They look good next to each other. Now, if you were to mix red and green together, they would cancel each other out and you would just get gray, mud, blah. You don't want that. But having them sit next to each other can really make it pop and look really nice. And I've used that. So we've got red and green are complementary colors. We have blue and orange are complementary colors. Purple and yellow are complementary colors. Okay. And then just straight across the color wheel. An example of me using this is in this picture. I have lots of purple tones, and then I have this yellow butterfly. And yellow is a complementary color of purple, and so it looks really nice and sitting next to each other. Okay, so that's a complementary color. Next is split complementary, and this gives you 3 colors to work with. And we talked about how red and green are complementary colors, but to do a split complementary, we would have green, we would go across to its complementary, and instead of using the complementary color, we would split it and do the 2 next to it. So we would do green, red-violet, and red-orange. Okay, and you can do that anywhere on the color wheel as well. Do yellow, purple is the complementary color, but instead of using purple, we split it and use blue-violet and red-violet with the yellow. And that gives us a split complementary color scheme. Doing it with blue. Blue and orange are complementary colors. We split the orange and we use red, orange, and yellow-orange with the blue. Okay? Now, a triad is using 3 colors equally spaced from each other on the wheel. So an example of this is actually our primary colors, red, yellow, or red, yellow, and blue. See how there's three, they're equidistant on the color wheel. Okay, so our secondary colors as well are equidistant from each other. Right there. Alright, and then we can use that with our tertiary colors as well. We can pick like this blue-green, the yellow-orange, and the red-violet. And that would be a triad color scheme. Alright, then we have a tetrad, which is using a combination of 4 colors on the wheel that are 2 sets of complements. Okay, so an example would be using blue, and the complementary of blue is orange. And then using green, and its complementary red. And that gives us a nice combination of colors to use, and they are related to each other in some way. Okay, so we could do yellow, and the complementary of yellow is purple, and then we could use let's see, we could use blue, and its complementary orange. Alright, so that's how that works. Alright, and those are the ones that we're going to be trying out for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to use our color wheel, and we're going to try out some of these in our coloring books, okay? So, and make some color schemes using the color wheel and these harmonious color scheme ideas, and see if we can use them in our coloring books the next couple of weeks. And yeah, we're gonna try some of these. So I think we'll do a monochromatic, I don't know if this is the order we'll do them in, but monochromatic and analogous, which is when they're sitting next to each other on the wheel, use complementary, and then a split complementary, and a triad, and a tetrad, so 4. So we're going to use these 6 ideas and do color schemes using them over the next couple of weeks, and then maybe we'll talk about some other stuff. But I'm excited about this. This is stuff that I just think about kind of in my head, and I'm doing it with my pictures without really showing you why I'm picking the colors I'm picking. So I thought this would be, you know, just some good basics of the color wheel. You can kind of learn some color theory and know how to use it to your advantage. You don't always have to use it, but it's nice to know the rules and why things look good, and why, you know, you may find yourself drawn to certain things rather than others, and then you can know how to break the rules as well. So anyways, that's what I have for you today. I hope you guys come back on Wednesday and we'll start our first picture using the color wheel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do another one and expand on the color wheel, let me know in the comments. And I'm glad you guys listened and stuck it out to the end, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye bye.